हरे कृष्ण। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन, यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यमुनतीरवनचारी, यमुनतीरवनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा कुंज बिहारी, राधा कुंज बिहारी राधे। जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद, जय जय प्रभुपाद। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद् His Divine Grace अभय चरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद् His Divine Grace भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की। ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की। गंगमयी की, यमुनमयी की, भक्ति देवी की, तुलसी देवी की, कलियुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimmirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. वंदेहम श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णकरुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधाकान्ता नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरि वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नम ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण
Hare Krishna. So we are very fortunate that we have His Grace Gauranga Darshan Prabhu amongst all of us. And I feel blessed that I am getting an opportunity to introduce him. Gauranga Darshan Prabhu, a short introduction I'll try to give. Gauranga Darshan Prabhu is he's a disciple of His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj, an educator and author of over 35 books. Prabhuji is the Dean of Bhaktivedanta Vidyapith at ISKCON Govardhan Eco Village, which conducts classes, residential classes, as well as online classes for devotees who come there and stay and take these classes, as well as people all over the world practically participate. Prabhuji is also a preacher. He gives programs for the children, teens, adults, and has delivered over 7,500 hours of spiritual discourses. He has also given programs. He also gives classes and seminars at different temples, in schools, colleges like IITs and NITs, corporate events and platforms like TEDx. He has also spoken at Intel, Tech Mahindra, Alstom, DRDO, ISRO. He is also a member of ISKCON Board of Examinations. As a professional, I would like to take this opportunity to speak about this. As a professional, Prabhuji has also worked for 2 years during his corporate career. He's worked for Force Motors and TCS Innovation Labs. And he has also, during that time, over 10 technical papers he has published. And as a monk, Prabhuji joined ISKCON in 2009 as a full-time monk. And that was at Radha Gopinath Mandir. In 2010, Prabhuji moved to Govardhan Eco Village. And since then, Prabhuji has been involved himself in media, DT services, web designing, content writing, creative design, construction, event management, outreach, spiritual education, teaching, etc., and so many other fields. You can see him everywhere. When you go to Govardhan Eco Village, his involvement has been in so many services. As an author, as I said before, Prabhuji has written over 35 books. Many books are available. We have also got a stock of them. And Prabhuji will be available to kindly autograph them for all of us. You can take an opportunity to buy them. Prabhuji has also written a special series of books for the children entitled Bhagavatam Tales. And this book has sold more than 250,000 copies. So we also have them on our table for distribution. So all the parents and the teachers can take an advantage of this for the students and children. As a teacher, Prabhuji has been giving wonderful lectures on Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and special topics from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Many thematic presentations on the Srimad Bhagavatam. And today we are very fortunate that Prabhuji is going to speak on it's a 3-lecture series. Actually, 3 lectures are very small. Just like we give the example of Raghunath Das Goswami, 3 drops he would take, three spoons he would take in a day, but we take 3 times a day. It's something like that for Prabhuji. We might speak Śikṣāṣṭakam in few minutes, but Prabhuji said even one shloka can go for 3 lectures. So of course, it's a very short of a time that we have given to Prabhuji to speak on this series of shlokas. But then with whatever we'll get to hear from him, we are really grateful for that. Let's welcome His Grace Gauranga Darshan Prabhu to ISKCON BCEC by 3 times loudly chanting Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
The classes will be in English. Devotees who would like to hear in Hindi, they can connect to FM 108. Hare Krishna. Hindi में classes FM 108 में सुनाई देगा. Thank you.
Thank you, Haldar Priya Prabhu, for your loving introduction and welcome. Very happy and grateful to be amongst all of you. Many wonderful devotees at ISKCON Vishal Nagar, BCEC. Okay. Even though it's a weekday, I see many devotees are here. That shows the priority that this community is giving to the process of Shravanam and Kirtanam. Thank you very much for being here. Because we are going to celebrate Gaura Purnima very soon, let us try to recollect and meditate on the most profound teachings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu did not write books like Rupa Goswami or Sanatana Goswami or many of his followers, but Mahaprabhu gave the essence of all his teachings in the form of 8 shlokas, Śikṣāṣṭakam, Ashtakam, Siksha. Siksha is teaching, right? Ashtakam is 8 in number. So these 8 shlokas present profound teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in very, very condensed form. Yet, if you unpack these 8 shlokas, you will find unlimited depths into these shlokas. I was fortunate enough to read Bhaktivinoda Thakur's explanation on this Śikṣāṣṭakam a couple of years back. 2023 I read. But after I read it, I felt very guilty that why did I not read it a decade back? Right? Because the explanations that Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives, and additionally Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur also gives an explanation in his Vritti commentary. Bhaktivinoda Thakur's explanation is called Sanmodana Bhashya, and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur gives additional explanation, which is a Vritti commentary. And Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, in his Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the last chapter of the last part, which is Antilila, 20th chapter, he also quotes these 8 shlokas and he gives brief descriptions of each of these shlokas. The Sanskrit shloka explained in Bengali verses. And Prabhupada gives some explanations on it. And Srila Prabhupada quotes these shlokas here and there in multiple purports. And different times Prabhupada gives different explanations to each of these shlokas. Sometimes he quotes the full shloka, sometimes he quotes only like one part of the shloka and then gives an insight. So I felt very curious, intrigued and excited to collect all these explanations by our Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas, mainly Srila Prabhupada, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur and Bhaktivinoda Thakur, especially these 3, Kaviraj Goswami. So put at one place to comprehensively understand Śikṣāṣṭakam, because they are the essence of the teachings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And our everyday begins with reciting these 8 shlokas. We have so many other Ashtakams, Vaishnava songs. We have Damodar Ashtakam, we sing it for a month in the Kartik. We have Sachisuta Ashtakam, we begin singing it a couple of weeks before Gaura Purnima. like that we have so many songs, but this is Śikṣāṣṭakam, we sing every single day. So every day we are meditating on it, so I thought, let me just go deep into it. So that's my humble attempt in either making this, writing this book or speaking these classes. So Śikṣāṣṭakam, although there are only 8 shlokas, these 8 shlokas comprehensively present bhakti from its initial stages of Shraddha up to the highest stage of Prema. All the 9 stages of bhakti are very comprehensively described in these 8 shlokas. Now, second way of appreciating Śikṣāṣṭakam is, the first 5 shlokas of Śikṣāṣṭakam primarily focus on sadhana bhakti. And the next 3 shlokas, last 3 shlokas of Śikṣāṣṭakam focus on sadhya. Sadhya is attainable, sadhana is that endeavor you take up to attain it. Or in other words, the first 5 shlokas elaborately describe sadhana, and the last 3 shlokas describe bhava and prema. Basically, our attainable goal is prema, right? Prema is there, prema and bhava. What is bhava? It's a preliminary stage of prema. And what is prema? It's an advanced stage of bhava. Right? So that way, bhava and prema are like our attainable goals. So why bhava and prema have to be separated? Things will be simple if you say sadhana and sadhya. But in the sadhya, why there are 2 sections, bhava and prema? Rupa Goswami describes it elaborately in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So because this is not Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu class, I will not elaborate on that part. Why 3 have to be mentioned? Sadhana bhakti, bhava bhakti and prema bhakti. Because bhava is not completely prema. And once you are in bhava, you definitely are not a sadhaka yet. Sadhaka. So there's bhava has to be separate. He gives elaborate explanation. But point here is, in the context of Śikṣāṣṭakam, Śikṣāṣṭakam describes sadhana in first 5 shlokas and bhava and prema in the last 3 shlokas. Now, third angle of seeing Śikṣāṣṭakam. So we hear that all the scriptures talk about sambandha, abhideya, prayojan. Sambandha is our relationship with Krishna, some knowledge about the soul and the Supreme Lord Krishna and the connection between both. That is called sambandha jnana. Abhideya means the process of reviving that relationship, which is the process of bhakti yoga. Sravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam and all these processes of bhakti yoga. Then prayojan is love of God. Love of God. How to attain Krishna prema. That is abhideya. But attaining Krishna prema itself is the prayojan. So Śikṣāṣṭakam describes all 3. The first 5 shlokas describe sambandha jnana. And the last 3 shlokas describe prayojan. And all 8 shlokas describe abhideya. All 8 shlokas are process only, right? But in this process, the last 3 shlokas, means the last final stages are bhava and prema. They are depicted in the last 3 shlokas. So we can see Śikṣāṣṭakam from multiple angles. From one angle, Śikṣāṣṭakam describes sambandha, abhideya, prayojan. From another angle, Śikṣāṣṭakam describes the 9 stages of bhakti. And from another angle, like the 9 stages divided into 2 sections, sadhana and sadhya, or sadhana, bhava, prema. So now let's begin with the first shloka. I don't promise that I'll be completing Śikṣāṣṭakam in 3 classes, but I'll focus more on the sadhana bhakti, because most of us are in sadhana bhakti, right? Some of you may be in bhava and prema, I don't know, right? Because most of us are in sadhana bhakti. I'll focus on the first 5 shlokas. Even in first 5 also, whatever is humanly possible, only that much I will do. So Prabhu said, just go deeply, Prabhu. Instead of giving an overview of all 5 shlokas, at least go slow and then as much as we can cover. So, remaining homework for you. Let's see. Why do you want to wait till next visit? You read, you study on your own. I'll only give a trailer, so you go through. Let's begin reciting the first sloka. Cheto darpanamarjanam bhavamahadavagni nirvapanam Shreyah kairava chandrika vitaranam vidyavadhu jivanam. So this first shloka describes the glories of Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. This shloka describes 7 glories of Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. 7 glories. We'll discuss them one by one. But before even entering each of these 7 glories of Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, let's talk a little bit about Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. What do you mean by Kirtanam? Kirti means glory, right? Kirtana means to glorify, the process of glorifying, Kirtana. And Sankirtana means, it can have multiple meanings. One way of looking at it is coming together and glorifying the Lord together. Like, you can do it alone also, but when you come with other devotees, that is Sankirtana. But Sankirtana word can also mean complete glorification, perfect glorification, Sankirtanam, right? When you add that sam to the as a prefix, it will become complete. It adds Purna is complete, Sampurna, really completely complete, right? So Sankirtanam basically is Sri Krishna's glorification, the process of glorifying the Lord in a very sumptuous way, in a complete way, in a perfect way. In a very meticulous way, right? And that meticulousness in glorifying the Lord can be seen in 2 perspectives. One, completeness in the sense of amount of description you give, quantitatively. But completeness also means the amount of absorption you have while describing the glories of the Lord qualitatively. It's quantitative completeness and it is qualitative completeness also. By the way, quantitatively we can never completely describe the Lord. Although Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita, Asamshayam samagram mam yatha gnāsyasi tat shrunu. Where did he say this? 7th chapter. In the 7th chapter Bhagavad Gita, first shloka, our Krishna said, Asamshayam samagram mam. Undoubtedly you will understand me completely. He is just encouraging us. We can never understand Krishna completely. Even Krishna never understands himself completely, right? The most complete understanding of Krishna only Srimati Radharani has, right? So completeness is not like completely understanding the existing quantity of glories of Krishna. It is complete according to your perspective. To the best of your ability, understand Krishna, right? So I often give this example. You take rasgulla, rasmalai, and then dip that rasmalai in that milk, right? Ras. And you pick up that rasmalai and then you touch it, you squeeze it, you bite it, you do whatever, you'll only get ras. It's filled with ras. But does it contain all the ras in the bowl? The bowl has more rasa. Right? But this rasgulla is filled with ras, but it does not have all the ras. Or gulab jamun, it is filled with sugar, but it does not have all the sugar in the whole bowl, sugar syrup in the whole bowl. Similarly, whatever we can assimilate according to the best of our ability, according to whatever empowerment Krishna has given us, that much only we can assimilate. That is complete for us. It may not be complete in the absolute sense, it's complete for us. So we should put our complete efforts and give our complete heart, body, mind, soul, intelligence, and invest our body, mind and words into this activity of glorifying the Supreme Lord. It is called Sankirtanam. You invest your thinking, feeling, willing completely in the Lord. That is Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. As Bhishma Dev says, Iti mati rupa kalpita vitrishna bhagavati satvata pungave vibhumni. In this shloka, Bhishma says, Iti matir upakalpita vitrishna. Let my mind be withdrawn from all distractions. Let my mind not be diverted anywhere. Prabhupada translates this shloka like this. Let me invest my thinking, feeling, willing completely in Krishna only. Without any distractions or deviations. Ananyas chintayantoma. Right? That is completeness. So a small child can completely invest his love or feelings in the Lord, in some service of the Lord, to the best of his ability. A grown-up man can invest his thinking, feeling and willing in the Lord's seva or glorification into the best of his ability. An advanced devotee can invest one's thinking, feeling and willing in the Lord to the best of his ability. A neophyte beginner, practitioner, so he can do it in a certain way. But what is recommended is you give your best. That is Sankirtanam, in one sense. So Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. Now, many times we may think that Sankirtanam basically means chanting the names of the Lord with harmonium, mridanga, kartal. That is definitely Sankirtanam, undoubtedly. But just meditate on this word. When you say Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, Kirti means glory, we discussed. Not just name. It is not just Nama Kirtanam. It is Guna Kirtanam also. It is Rupa Kirtanam also. It is Leela Kirtanam also. Thus, Sri Krishna Sankirtanam is a comprehensive term where a devotee glorifies Krishna's Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela and not only Nam. Right? And by the way, we discussed 4 types of Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. Nama Kirtan, Guna Kirtan, Rupa Kirtan, Leela Kirtan. But these 4 types of Sankirtanam, Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, can be performed not only with words. Many times devotees may think, Kirtana means it has to be done with the tongue only. No, it can be done with body, mind and words. There are enough scriptural references that describe this. Right? Tatenu kampam susamikshavaano bhunjana evatmakritam vipakam hridvag vapurbhir vidadhan namaste. Hrid vag vapurbhir vidadhan namaste. Offering obeisances can be done with hrid, with heart. Vak with words. Vapur with whole body. So your body, mind, words, you completely invest in glorifying the Lord. So Sri Krishna Sankirtanam basically means glorifying Krishna's Nama, Rupa, Guna and Leela with your body, mind and words. Understood? 3 into 4, 12 types of Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. And coming together. Sri Krishna Sankirtanam is not just doing Kirtan only with harmonium and kartal together. It's a very comprehensive term. So Mahaprabhu describes the process of Sri Krishna Sankirtanam in the first shloka, which includes like everything. Glorifying Krishna's Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela with body, mind and words. But in the second shloka, he goes deep into Nam. Nam means only name. He focuses only on name. Nam Namakari Bahudha Nija Sarva Shakti. So he gets into Nam Kirtan there. So before going deep into Nama, let's go deep into the glories of Sri Krishna Sankirtana, which is more comprehensive term. Right? That's the first opening shloka of Śikṣāṣṭakam. So, unless we not completely, at least to the whatever is humanly possible at our current stage of bhakti, unless we nourish ourselves with sufficient hearing of Krishna Katha, glories of Krishna, we may not be able to do Kirtanam effectively. Right? So, Shravanam comes first. And when you equip yourself with the glories of the Supreme Lord, with knowledge about Krishna's Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela, and thus develop some devotion and thus develop some inspiration to do Kirtanam, then you can be, it is more effective. For example, a person who does not know anything about Krishna chants the names of Krishna. Still, Krishna is so merciful that he gives him liberation or he makes him advance in bhakti, that's great. But a devotee who is more equipped with an understanding of Krishna's Nama Rupa Guna Leela can do kirtanam with more devotion, with more love, with more affection. A naive person comes and sees this forms of Gauranga. They say, oh, nice deities, nicely decorated, nice beautiful velvet cloth dress with some nice gems, with beautiful garlands, and then Uttriya is just nicely hanged. They may get into the details of the darshan. But someone who comes and reads this plate, who is Gaura Chandra, Namo Vaha Vadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate, they will get better understanding of that form. Right? Similarly, somebody may chant Krishna's names, Hare Krishna, they can do kirtan. But if one understands how glorious Krishna is, then absorption in kirtan will be increased more. Therefore, Shravanam and Kirtanam should go hand in hand. If chanting is everything, then we can cancel this class and then chant extra 10 rounds. Right? 1 hour, how many rounds you can say? 10 rounds. So let's cancel the class, let's chant 10 extra rounds. 26 rounds today. Tomorrow also 26. So that can be there. But the point is that when we know more about the person whose names we are chanting, whom we are trying to worship, whom we are trying to serve, our service or our worship or our chanting can be more effective. Thus, Sambandha Gnan has its very significant role to play to immerse yourself in Abhideya process. Chanting the holy names of the Lord is like best Abhideya. But for us to be absorbed in that Abhideya or the process of chanting, to know some glories of Krishna is required. Right? So Sri Krishna Sankirtanam includes Nama Kirtan, Guna Kirtan, Leela Kirtan, Rupa Kirtan, with body, mind and words. Okay, with words you can glorify, you understand that. How can you glorify with mind? By thinking about the Lord. That's also glorification of the Lord. You think about Krishna's Nama Rupa Guna Leela. You think about Krishna's compassion. You think about Krishna's sweetness, Krishna's greatness, how Krishna creates this world, how Krishna maintains this world, how Krishna blesses his devotees. You keep thinking about it. That is like kirtanam with mind. How can you do kirtanam with body? This whole body, hands, legs, etc. Yeah, you can engage your body in Krishna's service. That is like, again, glorifying the Lord with your body. If you remember, there is a beautiful episode in the 10th canto of Bhagavatam where Bhrigumuni goes to test Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. Who amongst these three deities is the best? He was requested by so many sages, and Bhrigumuni goes and conducts the test. How many of you want to test? Conduct a test, open book or closed book test to Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. Not so easy. But Bhrigumuni took the challenge. Yes, I can go and test them. So he went to Brahmaloka. He did not even offer obeisances to Brahma. Brahma did not say anything, but he was slightly disturbed. And that could be visible on his face. And Bhrigu understood, oh, he's expecting me to offer obeisances. And I can clearly see he's a little disturbed, he's uncomfortable. I think he may not be the best. Let me go to Shivaloka. He went to Shivaloka, Kailash. And then Shiva came to welcome Bhrigu and then embrace him. And then Bhrigu said, hey, don't touch me. You're so dirty. You have so much of ashes on your body, you have snakes around your neck, you live in crematorium, you are like this, you are like that. And then Shiva became angry and took his Trishul to attack Bhrigu. And Parvati came and said, hey, please stop. He's like your brother, he's our guest, you should not attack him. Control. So then Bhrigumuni went to Vishnu Loka, Vaikuntha, and kicked on the chest of Lord Vishnu. And you know what happened. I will not elaborately discuss this. The main point in our current context here is, whether it is Brahma or Shiva, they are doing kirtanam only. By getting disturbed when Bhrigumuni criticized Shiva, how is Shiva glorifying Vishnu? Because Shiva understands the purpose of Lord or Bhrigumuni. Bhrigumuni came to test me. Bhrigumuni came to test all the three deities to ascertain who is the best of all the three deities, Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. So, how can I be there in this competition? How am I even being nominated for this competition? So it should be unanimously, it should be Vishnu only. How can Brahma and Shiva also be nominated? So Shiva felt uncomfortable with it. So he became angry so that Bhrugumani eliminates from his nomination. Your nomination is cancelled. Because you became angry. So, if I become angry, how can the nomination be cancelled? Prabhupada writes in the purport. A person's greatness has to be estimated by his ability to tolerate provoking situations. When somebody criticizes you, comments on you, that is a provoking situation. And apparently Shiva could not tolerate this provoking situation. He took up his Trishul to attack Bhrugumani. So, Bhrugumani understood he cannot be the Supreme. Only one who is tolerant is the Supreme. Right? So, Vishnu is declared. But doesn't Shiva, he does not have the ability to tolerate? He had the ability to tolerate. Bhrugumani spoke a few words only. Daksha spoke many more words. Daksha's criticism of Lord Shiva is 10x or 20x or 100x. And Bhrugumani's criticism is only to test him. But Daksha's criticism is filled with pride and envy, jealousy. And he did not just criticize Shiva, he cursed Shiva also. And he did not just do it in Kailash in a small setting, he did it in front of all the universal celebrities publicly. Still, Lord Shiva is very tolerant, isn't it? He is extremely tolerant. He did not speak a single word. You can go to 4th canto, 2nd chapter for more details. So if Shiva could tolerate such a deep criticism and cursing of Daksha, why can't he tolerate the criticism of Bhrugumani? He could have tolerated, but he did not tolerate. Because he did not tolerate this whole competition itself, contest itself. How can I be nominated along with Vishnu? How can I stand next to him and who will get votes? All votes are him. My vote is also for him only. Right? So that is how he glorified. By being angry, he glorified the Lord. So your actions, physical actions, when you are offering obeisances to the Lord, you are acknowledging Krishna's glory. That is also kirtanam, in one sense. So glorification of the Lord or kirtanam of the Lord is done not only with your words, it can be done with your mind also, with your body also, with your interactions, with your words in everywhere, in all ways. You may say Shiva did not speak a single word glorifying Vishnu, but by being angry he glorified Vishnu. He established the glory of Vishnu. Thus, whatever a devotee, sincere devotee does in the process of bhakti is just a glorification of the Supreme Lord. Right? That's what Bhagavatam says repeatedly. So this is about Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. Now let's begin with the shloka. I spoke the last phrase, Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. Now let's see the 7 effects of Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. First effect, Cheto Darpana Marjanam. Cheta means consciousness or heart. Darpana means a mirror. Marjana means cleaning. So the Sri Krishna Sankirtanam cleans the mirror of our hearts. Our hearts are like mirrors, but when the mirror is covered with thick layer of dust, you cannot see your reflection. So when a mirror is like this, it's very clean and neat, you can see your reflection very clearly. If it is covered with some thin layer of dust, your image is blur. If it is covered with thick layer of dust, 1-inch layer of dust, you can't see it yourself at all, not even blurred image. So to the degree the covering of dust is there on the mirror, to that degree your pure consciousness is not manifested. Right? Cheto Darpana Marjanam. So the process of Sri Krishna Sankirtanam cleanses the dust from the heart so that the clarity, the clear consciousness is visible, is manifest. What is that clear consciousness? When our consciousness is completely clear, devoid of any lust or envy or pride, etc., we love Krishna more than anyone else or anything else, more than our own selves. Purity of consciousness of a soul means complete dedication to Krishna's service and complete absorption in loving Krishna. That is purity of consciousness. Anything less than that is impure consciousness. Okay, to the degree the heart is covered with the dust of lust and anarthas, to that degree we cannot love Krishna, we cannot serve Krishna. So Sri Krishna Sankirtanam will clean the heart, clean that consciousness from all that malice, so that our Krishna consciousness is completely manifest. So engage your body, mind, words and soul in glorifying Krishna's Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela, either through hearing or through speaking or through acting. You glorify the Supreme Lord, and that will clean our consciousness, clean the impurity of our consciousness. Now you see Bhagavatam. Pibanti ye bhagavata atmanas satam kathamrutam shravana puteshu sambhrutam punanti te vishaya vidushitashayam vrajanti tacharana saroruhantikam. Pibanti ye bhagavata atmanas satam. Bhagavatam is what? Bhagavatam is Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. Another name of Bhagavatam is Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, isn't it? So Bhagavatam is nothing but a description of Krishna's Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela. That's what Bhagavatam is doing, Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, right? So when you drink the nectar of Sri Krishna Sankirtanam or Bhagavatam in your ear, through your ear holes, what does it do? Punantite Vishaya Vidushita Asayam. Our aspirations in this material world are contaminated. Our desires and our goals and aims and aspirations are contaminated by Vishaya, desires for sense enjoyment. Punantite, the heart will be purified of that dirt, of that contamination. Punantite Vishaya Vidushita Ashayam. That's what Bhagavatam does. Now, what is the nature of this lust? Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, not lust, this dirt on the mirror. So, he says that this dirt on the mirror, or the covering of malice on the mirror, is of three types. 1. Anyabhilasha. 2. Bhoga. 3. Tyaga. Bhoga is enjoyment. Tyaga means renunciation. How can it be lust? Yeah. Tyaga has multiple perspectives. One, Tyaga is just you are renouncing. You are detached and you are renouncing. Vairagya. But there is something called Falgu Vairagya. Means artificial renunciation, artificial detachment. Hari sambandhi vastunaha mumukshubhir parityago vairagyam falgu kathyate. So this flower, ultimately the flower is material, right? But if you make this flower into a beautiful garland like this, very beautiful white, purple, then red petals are there, you made a very beautiful garland and offer it to the deities, it's not material anymore. Although it has been material, it was material, now it's not material, it's spiritual. Right? By wearing this, you will conquer Maya. You want proof? Uddhava says in the Bhagavad Gita, Uddhava Gita, before Uddhava Gita began, Uddhava said, Tvayopabhukta sraggandha vaso lankara charchita uchchishta bhoji nodasaihi tava mayam jayemahi. By honoring the Maha garlands, srag means garlands, gandha means sandalwood pulp. By honoring the paraphernalia which is already enjoyed by the Lord, upabhukta sraggandha, tava mayam jayemahi, we'll conquer Maya. That's the effect, right? So although it is material, it can be made spiritual by offering it to the deities, offering it to the Supreme Lord. So then we can spiritualize matter. So, but if I say, oh, this is matter, I should stay away from flowers, I should stay away from this seat, I should stay away from this bottle or mic or whatever, this phone or tripod or this clothes. Material, this material, oh no, I need a spiritual body. So, Hari Sambandhi Vastunaha, although some vastus, some elements or some objects can be utilized very effectively in Krishna consciousness, still you stay away from it in the name of renunciation, in the name of detachment. That is called artificial renunciation or useless renunciation, Falgu Vairagya. That is also a dust on the heart. It's a very, very subtle form of dust. First is very clear, Anya Abhilasha. Anya Abhilasha means any desire which is disconnected from bhakti, which is unfavorable for our spiritual progress, is Anya Abhilasha. It could be eating more or sleeping more. It could be desire for accumulating more and more wealth and name, fame, prestige, whatever it may be. If it is disconnected from devotional service, if it is unfavorable for our advancement in bhakti, it is called anyabhilasha, and that is dust on this mirror of the heart. Then bhoga, enjoyment. Too much of desire for enjoying the senses, whether it is bringing your eyes in contact with beautiful forms of the opposite gender, or bringing your ears in contact with very sweet and pleasant music, or bringing your tongue in contact with delicious food items. If they are not within the purview of Krishna consciousness, hearing is not wrong. But here, what you are hearing it matters. Eating is not wrong, but how much are you eating? What is the nature of food you are eating? Is it offered to Krishna or not? Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, and when Prabhupada says in the Nectar of Instruction purports, that even if it is Krishna Prasadam, if you eat with an enjoying spirit, if you overeat, if you eat more than certain quantity, that will agitate the senses and it will bring in material desires in us. Right? It's prasadam, it's offered to Krishna. So, but still, overdose of Krishna prasadam also can bring undesirable effects. Only one thing will not bring undesirable effects: overdose of Krishna Katha or Krishna Nam. You can chant extra rounds, but you don't have to eat so much more than the bodily requirement. Once in a while is fine. Mahaprabhu also eats 5 times more than the devotees can eat, but not every day, by the way. After Gundicha Marjan, after devotees do so much of service, then Mahaprabhu organizes a feast and he will feed these devotees. He will remember what is the favorite item of this devotee and give him more, right? But it's not a daily affair. So there are so many prasadam pastimes in Chaitanya Charitamrita where Mahaprabhu is feeding his devotees 5 times more than they can eat, and glorifying them with 5 mouths. But there is a caution note there. Right? It's not a daily affair. It's not that 3 meals are 5 times more than you can eat. 15 days ka meal in 1 day only, or 5 days ka meal in 1 day, not like that. Once in a while. Anyways, so anyabhilasha, bhoga, tyaga. These are 3 types of dust covering on the mirror. Anyabhilasha means desires disconnected from bhakti, or desires unfavorable to bhakti. By the way, what is favorable to one person may not be favorable to another person. For example, desire for money. Nothing wrong if you have so much money and you're using it to build a temple of Krishna. In that sense, you can earn money, you can accumulate so much money, use it in Krishna's service. So, but can everyone do like that? Some people can accumulate so much money, deal with money, and use it in Krishna's service, but some people, when they accumulate money, it's a distraction in their bhakti. That's why the Lord also, when He has to give wealth to His devotees, He will first assess them. If I give wealth to this devotee, will that wealth be a distraction in his bhakti, or he will not be disturbed at all even by that wealth and focuses on bhakti? If the Lord is confident that wealth doesn't distract a devotee from devotional service, the Lord will give unlimited wealth to such a devotee. But if the Lord feels that this wealth could be a distraction in his devotional service, the Lord will not give him wealth, will even take away that wealth also, if he already has it. You want examples? Avanti Brahman, he had so much wealth, the Lord took all the wealth away because he is not focusing on bhakti. And when all the wealth is taken away, then Avanti Brahman became very desperate and he depended only on Krishna. Okay, no more distraction, only bhakti. Anyatha sharanam nasti, tvameva sharanam mama. Bali Maharaj, he was feeling, I am a very charitable personality. Oh, really? Let me prove that you cannot give even 3 steps of charity. So the Lord came in the form of Vamaradev, took away all the wealth of Bali Maharaj, and whatever slight tinge of pride Bali Maharaj had, that is destroyed by making him a pauper. On the other hand, Sudama Brahman, he is so proud of his poverty. Right? Sometimes wealth can bring pride, sometimes poverty also can bring pride. Sometimes people may think, oh, he is only doing big services, worshipping the deities, doing Maharati, leading big kirtans and giving kathas. He should do some menial service also, correct? That is correct. But while doing menial service also, somebody may become so proud. They will think that I am doing menial service. These people are doing big, big attention-attracting services. So I am humbler than a blade of grass, and they are not. He is proud of his humility. How can you be proud of your humility? If you are proud of your humility, how can it be called humility? So sometimes while doing a menial service, also one can be proud. Just because somebody is doing an attention-attracting service, that does not mean they are not humble, right? So humility is, we'll discuss about humility, Trinadapi Sunichena, in the third shloka, we're in the first shloka only. So point is, Anyabhilasha is any desire which is not favorable for advancement in bhakti is a dust. Then bhoga, too much of enjoyment, overindulgence in enjoyable objects of this material world, that's another dust. Tyaga, artificial or dry renunciation, monkey renunciation, smashana vairagya, or falgu vairagya, or markata vairagya, all this is like tyaga, that is unfavorable. All this is dust. Sri Krishna Sankirtanam can clear this dirt, right? So we can elaborate more, but I'll go to the next effect. Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. Cheto Darpana Marjanam is over. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is doing Gundicha Marjan. So very beautifully Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, Sri Gundicha Marjanamatma Vrindaihi Sammarjayan Kshalayan Sagauraha Kshalayataha Sagoraha. So Gauranga Mahaprabhu is doing kshalana. He is cleaning this Gundicha temple and making it as clean as his heart. What is clean heart? A heart that is devoid of this dust of Anyabhilasha, Bhoga, Tyaga, or the six anarthas. That is a clean heart. And Mahaprabhu has a clean heart. He is cleaning Gundicha temple in such a way that the temple becomes as clean as his heart. Right? See? Svachittavat Shitalam Ujjvalam cha. Svachittavat. Shitalam, very cool. Ujjvalam, very bright. So a heart or a consciousness that is devoid of lust, envy, pride, greed is like a clean mirror, and it is Shitalam, very cool, and Ujjalam, very bright, and in such a place Krishna loves to stay, or anybody for that matter. You don't like to live in a filthy place. How can we expect Krishna to live in a filthy place of the heart? So we have to keep it clean so that Krishna becomes enthusiastic to come and sit there. Then second effect, Bhavamaha Davagni Nirvapanam. Now, Davagni, Agni means fire. Davagni means forest fire. Maha Davagni means great forest fire. What is this great forest fire? Bhava. This material existence is like Mahadavagni. Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam. So Sri Krishna Sankirtanam can extinguish this forest fire of material existence, blazing fire of material existence. How is material existence compared with a blazing forest fire? Because this material existence has three types of difficulties. Adhyatmika, Adibhautika, Adidevika kleshas. You know what are they? I will not elaborate. Right? So these three kleshas, these three miseries caused by body and mind, miseries caused by other living entities, miseries caused by natural powers. So these three are kleshas, or difficulties, which are as good as forest fire. And Sri Krishna Sankirtanam will destroy these three kleshas, or this forest fire. What does it mean? If I chant the holy names of the Lord, if I do Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, will I not suffer any problems with the body? Will I not get fever or cold or cough or other COVID difficulties? Or if I do Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, will dogs not bark when I am sleeping? Will mosquitoes not bite me? I will not have any miseries caused by other living entities. Or if I do Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, I will not be affected by rain or heat or cold. No, we will be equipped with the necessary maturity to see the misery as mercy of Krishna. Krishna arranged this miserable situation for me for my own purification. I must have done some mistake. If I undergo this trouble, then naturally I will be purified.
So we should accept all the kleshas in that spirit. Not that we don't take any measures to protect us from heat, cold, or mosquitoes, etc., etc. You do whatever is humanly possible. Still, if you are facing some trouble in this world, facing these kleshas, accept it as your purification. Right? And to get that strength to see a misery as mercy of Krishna, we should do Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. Right? That's the second effect. Bhavamaha Davagni Nirvapanam. Third effect is Shreyaha Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam. Very interesting. Shreya means auspiciousness. Kairava means white lotus. Kairava, it's not lotus but white lotus. Chandrika means moon rays. Vitarana means spreading or diffusing. Right? So Shreyaha Kairava Chandrika Vitarana means the Sri Krishna Sankirtanam spreads soothing moon rays like the moon and creates auspiciousness. Because when we expose ourselves to the process of chanting Krishna's names, glories of Krishna, then it's like we are bathing ourselves with the moon rays, the cooling moon rays that will create auspiciousness in our lives. And some lotuses bloom in moonlight, some lotuses bloom in sunlight, right? So, Sri Krishna Sankirtanam can act like sun to destroy our misconceptions also. Sri Krishna Sankirtanam can act like moon that can soothe us, that can pacify our hearts, that can control our hearts. Our hearts are agitated by so many difficulties, so many problems, so many anarthas and unwanted desires. So to pacify that heart, to control that heart, to subdue those like too many desires and agitations of the heart, so we need to soothe it by the calming rays of the moonshine of Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. Shreyaha Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam. That will give us the real purification. Now, very important point. Sri Krishna Sankirtanam will enable our consciousness to be fully bloomed with love of God. That is the real auspiciousness. What is the specific auspiciousness that this moonshine of Krishna Sankirtanam is doing in our lives? Bestowing love of God. Now, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that there are 5 levels of consciousness. Very beautiful. Some of you must be knowing this also. The Chetana is 5 types. One is Avrita Chetana. Avrita Chetana means covered consciousness. Consciousness is covered, very much covered. You can go to the third chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna speaks about coverings of lust, 3 coverings of lust. The deepest covering is like covering of embryo, a covering of the womb over the embryo. The next level covering is covering of smoke on fire. Then another covering is covering of dust over the mirror. So 3 types of covering. There are different degrees. So depending on how much dust or ignorance or false ego is covering the soul's consciousness is manifest accordingly. The basic level of consciousness is Avrita Chetana, which is covered consciousness, which you can see in trees and plants. Even if you go and then pluck a branch from the tree or a leaf from the tree will not bleed or tree will not shout, tree will not scream, because the consciousness is so low. They are not fully conscious. Even the tree branch is broken. Some people ask, hey, you are too much saying that we have to be vegetarian, we should not kill animals, this and that. Plants also have life. Why can't we eat them? How can we eat them? Yeah, plants have lesser consciousness. There are multiple other reasons we can give, but one reason is the consciousness of the plants is very less, Avrita Chetana, that even if you cut a leaf or a fruit from the plant, it doesn't scream out of pain. But when you cut the head of a goat or a hen, they will scream out of pain, isn't it? So anyways, first level of consciousness is Avrita Chetana, covered consciousness you can see in trees and plants. Second is Sankuchita Chetana, which is shrunken consciousness or contracted consciousness you can see in animals. Yes, they have some consciousness, but most of it is on the bodily plane. they are bodily conscious. But their intelligence or mind is not that refined. Yes, intelligence is there. Animals also have some intelligence, but all that intelligence or emotions are very, very much on the material plane, right? They are intelligent enough to only to get their eating, sleeping, mating, defending, right? Primarily. So that is shrunken consciousness, which is in the animals. Then Mukulita Chetana means budding consciousness. Slowly it's becoming a bud. So for example, this flower is there. So some of them are just blooming. But you see, some are not fully bloomed. If you allow it to be there on the tree or wait for some more time, they'll open like this. But otherwise now they are just closed like this, many of them. So this is called budding consciousness, means slowly blooming. It's not completely blossomed. It's like slowly blooming. That's budding consciousness which is there in human beings who are not practicing bhakti. The consciousness of human beings, even though they are not practicing bhakti, is better than animals and plants. Thus they are called Mukulita Chetana. Then fourth level is Vikasita Chetana. Vikasita means blossoming consciousness. Mukulita is budding consciousness. Slowly bud is just coming out. But blossoming consciousness means you are just slowly, like it's Vikasita. You are slowly blooming. This is called, this is there in human beings who are practicing sadhana bhakti, who are practicing devotional service, who are on the devotional path. But they are still on the practicing stage. That's why their Chetana is Vikasita Chetana. But the fifth level is Purna Vikasita Chetana. Means completely blossomed consciousness. You can find it in Premi Bhakta or Bhava Bhakta, when the bhakti is very much advanced. In sadhana bhakti, yes, there is complete involvement or engagement in different activities of bhakti, but the heart is not fully there. Still the mind has some desires, material desires. Therefore, it's not Purna Vikasita, it's only Vikasita. Purna Vikasita is completely blossomed consciousness where there are no anarthas, no dust at all. So Sri Krishna Sankirtanam will bestow auspiciousness upon you. Shreyaha Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam. Shreya, auspiciousness. So Sri Krishna Sankirtanam will bestow auspiciousness upon you by bringing you to this level of Purna Vikasita Chetana from this Mukulita Chetana. Okay, that's the third effect. Fourth effect. We can elaborate on this, but I think I'll move ahead. Fourth is Vidyavadhu Jivanam. Vidya means knowledge. Vadhu means a bride. And knowledge is compared to a bride here. Vidyavadhu. So just as a wife's life is centered on the husband traditionally, so Krishna Sankirtan is the very essence of life of all spiritual knowledge. Vidya is two types. There is Jada Vidya, there is Paravidya. Means there is mundane knowledge, mundane education, and there is advanced spiritual education. Material education, spiritual education. So here the Vidya that is spoken about is spiritual education, not mundane education. So Vidyavadhu, that spiritual education is compared to a bride. And the object of, now the bride is very much focusing on the husband. Right? This newly married lady, woman, considers her husband as her life and soul and the object of her love. Similarly, spiritual knowledge considers Krishna as the object of its love, her love. Vidyavadhu Jivanam. So Sri Krishna Sankirtanam is the Jivanam of Vidyavadhu. Clear? So Sri Krishna Sankirtanam means the essence of all spiritual education is to engage in Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, as simple as that. Right? That's the essence of all education. King of all education. Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam, Pavitramidam Uttamam, Raja Vidya. King of all education. Why is it called King of all education? Knowledge about Bhakti Yoga is considered Raja Vidya. Why is it so? Because the object of that Raja Vidya is Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, glorification of Krishna's Nama Rupa Guna Leela through service. Right? Now fifth effect. We only have 4 minutes. Fifth effect. Anandambudhi Vardhanam. Ananda means happiness. Ambudhi means ocean. So, by doing Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, you are immersed in an ocean of bliss. Vardhana means increasing. The ocean itself is so huge, just imagine an ocean that is constantly expanding. So Sri Krishna Sankirtanam will make the ocean of your bliss, spiritual bliss, constantly expand and become bigger and bigger and wider and deeper. Ekantino yasya na kanchanartham vanchanti yevai bhagavat prapanna atyadbhutam tacharitam sumangalam gayanta ananda samudra magna. Ekantino yasya na kanchanartham vanchanti. Ekantina devotees, those who have one-pointed devotion into Krishna, they don't have any other desires, no anyabhilasha. Why? Because atyadbhutam tacharitam sumangalam gayanta ananda samudra magna. Samudra magna means they are immersed in an ocean. What ocean? Not Bhavasagar. Ananda samudra. They are immersed in an ocean of happiness. And this ocean of happiness is gayanta, glorifying Krishna. That is, singing the glories of Krishna. That is Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. So Sri Krishna Sankirtanam is Anandambudhi Vardhanam. Another way of putting it is Gayanta Ananda Samudra Magna. Gajendra is saying this. The shloka that I just quoted is Gajendra's shloka. Gajendra says, Gayanta Ananda Samudra Magna. Devotees glorify the Lord, they do Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, they are always immersed in an ocean of bliss. Then sixth effect, any other bliss, material bliss, is incompatible with our core spiritual self. It's incompatible. And even if it is somewhat compatible to our body and mind, it is not that appealing forever. And even if it appeals to you sometimes, it is so short-lived. So, material bliss is always insubstantial and not everlasting. Then sixth effect is Pratipadam Purna Amrita Asvadanam. Pratipada means every step or every word of any shloka or any pastime or any chapter or any scripture that is describing Krishna's Nama Rupa Guna Leela is Purnamrita Asvadanam. Amrita means nectar. Purnamrita means very condensed nectar. Asvadanam. So when you are doing Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, that Sri Krishna Sankirtanam will enable you to experience great happiness at every step, with every word, with every syllable. That's what he says, Rupa Goswami. Actually that is Srimati Radharani shloka. Tunde tandaviniratim vitanute tundavali labdhaye karna kroda kadambini ghatayate karnarbhutebhya spraham cheta prangana sangini vijayate sarvendriyanam krityam no jane janita ki yadbhiramritaihi krishneti varnadvayi. Krishna, these two syllables, Krishna, what great nectar is embedded within them. Purna Amrita Asvadanam. So because Rupa Goswami is doing Asvadana of this Purna Amrita, he is saying this very boldly, that I don't know what great nectar is embedded within these two syllables of Krishna. I feel like chanting more. I feel like having millions of ears to hear the nectar of Krishna's name. I feel like having millions of tongues to chant the names. So that's why Krishna Katha enables us to experience nectar at every step. Purnamrita Asvadanam Pratipadam. The last is Sarvatma Snapanam. Snapana means bathing. If you go to Tirupati or many other traditional temples in the South India, there is Snapana Seva. Means bathing, Abhishek basically. We call it Abhishek. They call it Snapanam. So, Sarvatma Snapanam means entire body, not body, Atma, soul is bathed. When you are chanting the holy names of the Lord, or when you are doing Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, the soul becomes bathed by the nectarian glories of Krishna, and that bathing will completely remove all dirt and inauspiciousness and bestow great auspiciousness. Right? Abhishek bestows auspiciousness, right? And Dhruva Maharaj came back from his home. He was bathed, Snapanam. Mother Suniti bathed him with her milk and with the tears of her eyes. So this is like bathing. On Rajyabhishek time, at Rajyabhishek time, the king is bathed with milk and water, right? So that happened already for Dhruva at the age of 5, because his own mother is doing that Rajyabhishek. Because he himself bathed himself by the nectarian instructions of Narada Muni and by chanting the names of Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Right? So Sarvatma Snapanam. So each of these effects can be elaborated more, but it's 8:02. I went 2 minutes beyond time. I'll conclude here. Thank you very much. Shri Chaitanya Śikṣāṣṭakam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Should we take questions or time up? One question, yes. Any one question?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. You said that if Lord thinks that wealth can disturb him or distract him from devotional service, so Lord won't give. So can't Maya provide him so that we get distracted?
Maya can provide. See, one thing, wealth can be from Maya or from Krishna also. So, somebody who is a typical materialistic person, on a material plane he does something good. He gets some punya, and that punya will give him some wealth, right? That's a product of their pious activities. And if they do impious activities, they will encounter some suffering, or they may lose their wealth. So it's total in a material plane. Materially you do something good, you get something material good. And if you do materially something bad, you will get some material bad reaction, right? So Paramatma is just observing it. But when somebody comes to the process of bhakti, even in the sadhaka stage also, the Lord will take complete control over their lives, right? Their bestowal of wealth or withdrawal of wealth or powers or name, fame, prestige, whatever, all this is orchestrated by Krishna, not karma, right? Somebody may become wealthy or poor because of their karma, but a devotee becomes wealthy or poor because of Krishna. Tasmadidam daivatantram, not karma. This is not karma anymore. Daivatantram, it's Krishna's plan. Provided the person is a devotee. Right? If you are practicing devotional service, your wealth and poverty are orchestrated by the Lord, in accordance with your current absorption in bhakti. He will take charge. Ultimately, Krishna is only taking charge of every living entity's life, whether in the material circles or spiritual circles. But when somebody subscribes to the process of sadhana bhakti, the Lord says, these are my subscribers. They have registered for sadhana bhakti. I should take care of them. I should provide all the facilities. But the default attention that the Lord gives in the form of Paramatma is available for everybody. Right? But there, as Paramatma, in the heart of a conditioned soul, the Lord will just act as dadami, what is that shloka? Mattaha smritir jnanam apohanam cha. He'll give knowledge, remembrance, forgetfulness according to their mindset, their consciousness. But in the case of a devotee, Paramatma will not just act as a neutral observer. He acts almost like Bhagavan. Dadami buddhi yogam tam yanamam upayantite. The Lord may do that with common people also, but they don't reciprocate. But a devotee reciprocates. And the devotee takes the words of the super soul seriously and then performs bhakti. But a conditioned soul ignores the teachings of the Lord and then explores deeper into materialism. It all depends on how much are we consciously investing our body, mind and emotions in the process of Krishna bhakti. Does it make sense? Okay, thank you very much. We'll conclude here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. So let us thank His Grace Gauranga Darshan Prabhu for such wonderfully elaborating on the first shloka. Prabhuji will continue speaking on the same topic tomorrow as well as on Monday. And tomorrow being weekend, Saturday, as per the instruction of Ashray Gopal Prabhu, we'll have class tomorrow at 7:45 so that we can go till 9 p.m. 9 a.m. 9 p.m. is also not a problem. So that we can have a little longer class, we'll have Mangalarti first before tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Let us thank His Grace Gauranga Darshan Prabhupada 3 times, loudly chanting, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Prabhuji's books are available outside at the stall, limited stock, so you can take advantage. Hare Krishna.